So now can you kind of feel the shape of the pot?
Yeah.
So
Well, I can feel it's yeah, I can feel the thickness almost. I got my thumb on the bat and I got my finger
now
on
this tool here I have in my hands is called a rib. It's kind of like a triangle shape with a right angle and then a curve.
curve there, yeah.
So we're going to take this flat part here on the bottom.
Yeah.
That's about 1.5 inches.
Yep.
And we're going to hold this and we're going to make the bottom completely flat. So I'm going to take 2 hands and hold it like this, and we're going to go right over the center. And then just give just a little bit of pressure, a little bit more. There. Now the bottom is nice and smooth and flat.
Now, how
So-
would I check that to make sure? I mean, you can see this with, how would I know?
Well,
Okay, I
feel
can
it.
feel it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, it feels, yep.
So now
Very nice.
I'm going to do what I call centering the donut. And you see how it's kind of rounded, odd shape? You always want to do that on your right side, like right here. It is both fingers. Can you feel the shape of that?
Yep.
And just gently,
Pull up.
and you always, nope, don't do anything, but just always touch your thumbs. But just feel the shape of it while I center the donut.
Okay.
Now I'm just holding it like a crescent wrench. So now you can see it's kind of more squared off.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get the bumps out of it. Okay, now. Okay, go ahead and take this sponge here, and you can wipe the muck off your fingers.
Perfect. Perfect. Off.
And then just dry your hands off there, and then put this sponge right over there, next here, on the right of the bucket. That's yours.
Yep.
Okay, so now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take your long fingers. That's this one and this one. Okay, and I'm gonna slide them through the clay so you know what the clay is supposed to feel like going through your fingers. Okay.
Okay.
So I usually do is I'll take this finger like that, and we don't want to push out, but we're going to be firm on the inside. And then keep your fingers straight, just like that. And hold, and then we lift.
You're feeling for the center the whole time to make sure you don't pull it off center.
Yeah.
Or
Now,
off the line.
could you feel the pressure changing?
A little bit.
Kind of more and then less, but it was very gentle. That's when I'll have you hold your right hand out like this and pretend it's clay. Okay. At the bottom, we're going to grab some clay, and then we lift. But as you come up, you see how the pressure dropped off. So now just keep your fingers straight, just like that. Just as you pull the clay, you see how there's the pressure and then no pressure. Because what people usually want to do is they want to keep the same pressure.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be squishing.
Okay.
And we don't want to squish. We don't want to be like pliers with squish the clay. We want to be more like the crescent wrench where the 2 jaws don't move.
Show me once more what it should feel like.
So at the bottom, when we grab the clay,
Yeah.
we lift. See how my fingers are staying in the same
Yeah.
place.
I didn't know what you were doing at first. That's why.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were. Did you do that with both your hands?
Well, yes, I took both.
Okay, I didn't know you were doing that.
Well,
I figured it out.
Yeah, it's just really interesting for me because I've been thinking about this for a while. How in the world am I going to explain? But anyway, one miracle at a time. So we're going to do that again.
The problem we always have is
Yep.
detail.
Right.
Detail is better for me or anyone
Cool.
with bad no vision or whatever. It's just lots and lots of detail.
We keep our thumbs locked, fingers. So we don't want to push out. No, keeping our fingers straight. So we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because it'll dig.
Sure.
So we keep one of the fingers straight.
Yep.
You can see your fingers are like at 3 o'clock. There's that bead. And then we lift. So it's very gentle.
Am I pushing with equal pressure on both, or am I holding this one steady and pushing
Well,
with my?
it feels like there's equal pressure, but you're not pushing out with your left hand. We're just trying to grabbing the clay from the outside, because it tends to, if you tend to push out like that,
Yeah.
pardon, the pot will end up falling, going out into like a plate.
Okay.
We want to keep it. Because see, when we come up, if you're going out like that, we're gonna make a bowl,
Yeah.
and but if you go out too far, it'll flop. So we kind of want to go at that angle. See, and if we were gonna make a mug, we do that. See, more up.
So and then what I'm doing here, what you just showed me was, this was just to make sure that everything was equal thickness.
Right.
That's what we were doing.
Yep.
Okay.
The first thing we're wanting to do is try to make sure this wall is even thickness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I found a couple of different ways for holding your hands to go through the clay. Now the first way is first off, it's like we're praying, and then we open our hands and make a boat, and then take your right thumb and put it right there. Okay. So now see how there's a triangle here, and that with your thumb here, it makes your hands stronger.
Sure.
And then you can take your left thumb and put it underneath your right thenar, and then we have fingertips to fingertips. See that? So now I like to do this because I like to hold a sponge. If you open your thumb, I like to put a sponge right there.
Okay.
So we still have the fingertips and the sponge. And then thumb here, and then tilt your fingers down. And we want to keep these fingers together on your left. So you
Try to
turn
keep them like that? No?
keep them together.
Oh, together, okay.
And then put your left thumb underneath your right thenar. There we go. Now, we want to try to keep. See, what I
I
find
almost feel like
sometimes.
lifting my arm out.
But I find is sometimes people's left hand comes out like this, but it's easier if it's more like that.
Yeah.
Because when it comes out like this, the nail tends to dig
Yeah.
on the clay.
Yeah.
But if it's like this, the nail's not going to dig.
Oh, I was gonna clip my nails before I came here and I forgot.
Your nails are beautiful.
Okay.
Thanks for laughing. So, we don't want to push out, but we're gonna. So there's our bead,
Yeah.
and then we lift.
Slowly.
Smooth and fluid. We want to make an even, like an even thread. You're gonna take the sponge.
Okay.
Here I have like a wood screw.
Yep.
Now, the even threads. See how nice and smooth and even that is?
Yep.
That's what we want on the side of the clay. Smooth, even.
As it's going around.
Yep. If we change the speed, then the lines kind of change. We want a nice, even, like an eighth of an inch every time a revolution. We bring our hands up an eighth of an inch. Well, with your hands like this, see, that's the way I like to use it with the sponge, but sometimes people find that awkward. So the other thing I'll do is I'll just go like, my thumb's like that, I'll keep my fingers like this. But what we don't want to do is having our fingers apart like that, and we don't want to do that because with their individual fingers, they're not as strong.
Right.
Even two fingers together are stronger. And anything, I don't know if you can hear the splash pan. I'm leaning on the splash pan to get some support.
Yep.
So now we want to touch the inside. We want to feel that balance.
Yep.
Now the other thing I forgot to explain is, you see what's happening with our fingers right on the side here. The clay, we want to be working here at 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, because the clay, as it's spinning, it's pulling your fingers out in a right angle here.
Yeah.
If we were over here, it's going to push your hands over here. So we always want to work with that. So if you try to find the balance, you say, "Oh, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be there. I want to be right there."
That's comfortable.
And so here's the other way. With fingers, we're just going to hold, and then you can feel that wedge. Okay.
It feels like the top is thicker than the rest of it, but it's not. I mean, when I was pulling up.
Just the slightest. There's just the slightest bit.
Okay.
Because then, what I try to do is, when I come up is I'll take, say, this hand and I'll fold these hands like that, and I'm going to take this sponge and hold it like that, and draw your thumb back a little bit, because now we're going to wrap the clay here, and we get this
What do you say here? You mean here?
Yep. I'm putting some water on the clay, and then with my left hand, I'll touch my thumb to there, and just there, so you can feel the edge,
Yep.
and then, see, then we're just going to smoothen the edge. But we can't do any fast movements like
Yep.
every single fast movement. Well, everything you do transfers into the clay.
Yep.
So now we're gonna make the pot. Let me have my other sponge. Oh wait. Just gonna get a little bit of the clay water off the clay and make it slippery.
A little slurry.
Slippery. Sometimes I. Anyway, I'm just using this kidney-shaped sponge to make it nice and damp. Okay. So now we're gonna make the pot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these long fingers, like this,
Okay.
and right thumb over your left. Now we don't want to push out, but and keep your fingers straight. Now can you feel that wedge?
Yep.
And then we lift.
So are you pulling up as you
Yep.
thin out the wall? Do you just take a little wedge?
Now remember the crescent wrench?
Yep.
See, we weren't being pliers,
Right.
we're being crescent wrench.
Yep.
So now we can feel the thickness of the clay. We're just feeling it.
Yep.
See, we're trying to make it nice and even. Now let me.
We're off a little bit. Right here.
Yep, it's a little bit thinner towards the top.
Well, it felt thicker.
Or thick, well, just that little bit.
Right here.
So now we're gonna get some more clay.
Yep.
We don't want to push out. We're gonna be firm, and then there's that wedge.
Did you push that in a little bit?
Yep.